In this video, I'm going to show you how you can replace the stylus on your turntable. So you may have discovered that your records just aren't sounding the way that you remember them sounding when you first got your turntable. Now that could be for different reasons, but one of them most likely would be your stylus is worn out. The stylus on your turntable is really only good for about 300 hours before it wears out and you need to replace it. So if you've got quite a few hours on your turntable, that could be the reason. Another reason you might want to buy a new stylus is because you have a more entry-level turntable and you want to upgrade it to get a little better sound. So this video is going to show you how you can change that stylus. Now this is an Audio-Technica stylus that I have, but changing out the stylus on a lot of turntables is very similar. Now if you have like a really entry level, you may not be able to change the stylus, which is very unfortunate. But if you have even a decent entry level from Audio-Technica or Fluence or any of those, you're going to be able to change your stylus and even upgrade it if you choose to. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the head shell. So we're going to just grab this here. We're going to twist this counterclockwise. We're going to pull this off. So this is called the head shell. Now we're not going to be replacing this entire head shell, nor are we going to be replacing the entire cartridge. The cartridge includes this metal part here and all these connections. Well, the wires are part of the head shell, but the wires connect onto the cartridge. We're not even going to be replacing the whole cartridge. We're only going to be replacing the little green part at the end that contains the stylus. Now, as you might be wondering, why would we ever change the head shell or the whole cartridge? Well, there's reasons for that, but in most cases, you can reuse this head shell, indefinitely. The cartridge also you can use for quite some time. The only time you'd have to replace the cartridge is if these wires, the connections to the wires became bad, or if you change the stylus and something still doesn't sound right, then something may have gone wrong with the electronics inside the entire cartridge. So, but most cases, I would suggest only replacing the stylus. Now what I like about Audio-Technica is they make it pretty easy for you to determine which stylus you have and which stylus you may want to go to. So for example, if you can see the shape of the stylus, the plastic part. So you're going to want to look for the other ones that have the same shape. But you're going to notice that they come in different colors. There's a blue one, there's a green one, there's an orange one, a red one, and a brown one. Now, each color represents a different quality level and a different cost, as you may have discovered. The blue one is the entry level. That one runs around $32 to $35 or so. The green one is around $50. The orange one is getting up into a little over $100. The red is around $150 and the brown is around $200. For most people, I would suggest the green one. The reason is you're going to get a lot better sound quality out of it than the blue one. The blue one is their entry level one. The blue one has a conical tip. Conical tip does not get down into the grooves as far as this would because this is an elliptical tip. The elliptical tip gets down into the groove a little bit better to give you a little bit more of the sound that is intended. So I recommend one of these ellipticals. The orange is also an elliptical, but it's different than the green one in the way that the tip of the stylus is attached to the lever. This one is called bonded, and the orange one is called nude, and it just has to do with the way that it's attached. The nude will give you a little better sound quality, but in most cases, this this green one would be just fine, especially since the orange one is twice the price. And then the red and brown get into another technology that gets into the groove even deeper, which is well out of my price range at this point. So I pretty much just stick with this green one. It's a real nice compromise between quality and cost. So here we have the replacement stylus. Let's open this guy up. So this is simply all that it is. I mean, it is literally just that green plastic part with the stylus attached to it. Now we're gonna pop that off of the existing cartridge here and pop on the new one. And so to do that, you just grab this and you just pull down. You know, it took a little bit of force, but I just basically pulled it straight down and it came off. So here's the old one. And the reason I'm replacing mine is I've had it for quite some time, but I noticed it was a little bent. And I don't know how this happened. I really don't have any idea, but it was slightly bent. And I've got probably close to 300 hours on this anyway. So it was due for a change. So now here's the new one, and I suggest leaving this protective cap on it when you go to put this on. It gives you less opportunity to damage the stylus. So get it oriented properly, and it just slides into the bottom of this. So we're gonna get this lined up. We're gonna pop it on, and you heard it click, and it's in the position it needs to be, and that's it. So we can go ahead and put this back on the turntable, and then we can slide this protective cap off of it so that we can use it. Okay, let's go ahead and attach our head shell back onto our arm. And to do that, you just push this in and tighten this down, and that's it. Then we can remove this plastic cap on the end of here. We can go ahead and use the turntable. I would suggest though, first, let's just do another check on the counterweight to make sure that we are still at our 2 grams of tracking force, which is what's required for this stylus. Okay, so here I have this little scale that's used specifically for measuring the force of a stylus for your turntable. So I picked that up on Amazon. I suggest you do the same. It's just something real nice to do to be able to make sure that you're set properly. In any case, let's move your tone arm and your stylus over to the proper spot on the scale. And then let's lower the tone arm down. And let's see. Okay, so I'm at about 1.92. which I think is fine. I typically try to get it to be 2 grams plus or minus 0.1. So I'm within that. So we're good to go. It's just a real good time to check on that sort of thing. You don't need to do any other checks unless you really feel that you want to when you change the stylus. But I always do like to check that tracking force just to make sure that we're still tracking where we need to be. So hopefully this video helped you learn a little bit about changing your stylus, the reasons why, and just how simple it is and why you should do it frequently. Because a damaged or an old stylus can damage records, and you're spending a lot of time and effort and money having this collection. No reason to let it get damaged by using a bad stylus. So thanks again. We'll talk to you next time.